thing, you start to realize that you measure your validation and who you are based off of the things that you have achieved and done. And so when something falls apart, and like Angie, you don't get the role, or like Quinn, you get the role and you're not happy, right? And I think even Camille experienced that. She got grad school, but then was having a meltdown. They talked about that. When you get that thing that you really wanted, and you're like, and then you realize like, oh, I have it and I still don't feel happy. You realize like your happiness has to be based in something else. Happiness has to be based in just you. And no matter what, you are enough and you are something. So I think that was the thing, is like your worth and who you are isn't based on you having something or accomplishing something. You are the something. You are the something. And when you start to realize that, it puts less pressure on to achieve. You start to think about your passions, what you're passionate about, what you really want to do, and not necessarily what people, would say if you achieve this. Like, I don't know if it's me, but sometimes I catch myself thinking like, oh, if I go off on an opportunity for this, then I could post this on Instagram and everybody's going to like really like it. Now, it sounds crazy, right? But I know I cannot be the only person who's thought about that. I can't wait to achieve XYZ so I can tell people or post about it and people congratulate me. When you think about things that way, you are searching for validation through others and through things. Because at the end of the day, whether you tell anybody or not, and we always laugh, my friend group, about I did a thing, whether you tell people that you did a thing or not, um, you are enough. You are like, you should be able to just post you without any accolades or accomplishments and people go off. I mean, just to be honest, because if you think about who you are right now, and even also thinking about all of the accomplishments, I think this is sometimes when we are continuing always striving for the next, always looking for the next, always trying to go, what's next, what's next. We don't pause to think about, like and I have this in another podcast I recorded, I haven't posted yet. When we always achieving and think about the next, we're not able to sit in our blessings and say, man, I remember when I prayed for the things that I have right now. I remember when I didn't have the things that I have right now. And it's okay to be still and to be in what you have. And so I think that goes along with being stressed, right? So if I am realizing that my accomplishments doesn't make me who I am, and I told you, I talked about this in therapy, that I feel like I have to always do things. And maybe after that therapy conversation, that was a while ago, that I realized like I don't have to like be an overachiever. Like, I don't have to continue to do things that I don't fucking want to do. I don't have to be in organizations and clubs and have leadership positions. I don't have to do all that if I don't want to do it, right? And so I think now, re-gearing about what is your passion, what do you want to do? I do want to be more into community service and do more of those, because I grew up doing community service and I haven't really etched into that. But thinking about it in a sense of something that I'm passionate about, more so than I need to do this because XYZ, right? No, I'm doing this because it fulfills me. It pours into my cup so that I can pour into someone else's, that I have some overflow. And I think that is important because it automatically diminishes some stress that you may be having. I also think that stress can go, even when you're thinking about accolades and achievements, it doesn't necessarily have to be career driven. It can also just be, I'm going back to parents. Like, sometimes people feel like they have to be the super parent or the super mom and do all of these things, when in reality, some of it's not possible, but it causes stress to feel like I have to, I have to get the snacks and I have to make these things look really nice. And I also have to take the kids here and I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to make sure that dinner is perfect. And I have to make sure that the house looks this way, because when you start to think about those pressures, and again, those things that sometimes our mind just tells us that we need to do, even though there's no validity in that we actually need to do it. Sometimes our thoughts will just tell us that we start to feel stressed. And I think a lot of times people start to feel stressed too in finances, right? And recently too, and this is kind of segueing a little bit and not thinking about Black people, but also just thinking about famous people, right? And celebrities. Right now, Kim Zolciak, if you know Real Housewives of Atlanta, right now she is in debt with American Express, and she's also her house is going under foreclosure. It's like $215,000 in debt. And also, too, not even just Kim Zolciak, because not just white people, too, but Black people as well. If you look at Real Housewives of Potomac, you have Ashley, who says that she can't afford the house that she's living in, but she can with her ex-husband, Michael. And so her rent is like $13,000 a month or some ridiculous ish like that. And so she's going to pay that. And then you also have, on the other hand, on the other side of the couch, you have Mia. And I don't know if you watch these episodes, but even if you don't, you may have a picture of that. These are um, reality star. I don't know what we could say. They're not celebrities, but they're like reality star personalities, and they are in the hole that another one, Mia, is talking about that she had to give up some of her rental properties